Object views are simply different ways of viewing the object that you're working on. Some views will allow you to do heavier editing and changes. Some are simply for viewing, and others let you complete certain tasks. Let's learn about different ways to view the objects in Access so you can see exactly what we mean. We already put together the fields for our tables in the Design view. To view the different views, right-click on the table for which you want to change the view. You'll then see your choices. Design view is where you design the table by adding fields or columns. Datasheet view, or clicking on Open, is where we enter the data. Earlier versions of Access included pivot table and pivot chart views. However, they have been discontinued in Access 2013. If you create a form, which you'll learn to do in the next few lessons, you can then right-click on that form to select a view. The Form view lets you view your form. Let's create a quick form by going to Create and then click on Form. This is the Layout view here. It shows you the layout of your form with all the data fields that contain information. It's more visual than Design view. Real data is displayed in the Layout view. You can use this view to improve the appearance and usability of a form, but there are a lot of tasks that you have to use Design view to complete. Form view is just a basic view of your form. In Design view, you can see the design of your form in more detail than Layout view. In Design view, you can see headers, footers, and detail sections. You cannot see your data while you're making changes, but you can do some tasks very easily in Design view, whereas they'd be more complicated to do in Layout view, such as adding controls to the form. These controls might be labels, images, rectangles, and lines. Edit the text box control sources in the text boxes instead of having to use the property sheet. Resize form sections and change form properties that can't be changed in Layout view. Again, don't worry if this all sounds like pig Latin right now. This is simply an overview to make things a little simpler when we start to create our own forms. Don't worry about knowing what you need to do in each view. To close the form, right-click on the Form tab here and select Close. You don't need to save the form at this stage, so press No. There are 3 query views, which you can find by right-clicking on the Query tab, just like we did when we right-click on the form or the table. We'll discuss queries later in the course, but a query is simply a way of viewing certain data for your tables. You have a Design view, which allows you to design your query and choose what fields you want using a visual representation of the tables. This is where you design your query. The SQL view displays the code that determines what the query will display. You also have your Datasheet view, which is where you view the data. We'll learn all about queries in this course, so for now, just familiarise yourself with the various views and how to find them. Remember, Design views allow you the most control to edit and design your object. To see some report views, go to the Create tab and click on Report. When creating a report, you have 4 views: Report view, Layout view, Design view, and Print preview. This is the report view shown here. The Layout view shows you the layout of your report, just as the name implies. You can use this view to edit the layout, sometimes as simply as using drag and drop. You can see your data in the Layout view. The Design view doesn't show your data, but it shows headers, footers, and other information, just like Design view for forms. The Print preview shows how your form will look when printed. You cannot edit your report when in this view.